Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. Got another performance, and it looks like it's probably exhibition. Not exactly sure, but that's okay. What I did want to say is why the different colored beret? That's interesting. Uniform. I'm guessing it's exhibition because of the different colored beret. It could have a reasoning that we'll find out later in the performance, which is fine. I think that's intriguing. That really is nice. It looks like, Air Force Junior ROTC. But the berets are not worn properly. They look brand new. You plopped them on, and it has a ridge all the way around. The berets are intended to be worn very specifically, at least in military uniform. Now, if you're French, fine, wear the beret whatever way you want to. However, don't think that applies. So, not exactly the, I guess, commander. Alignment not working all that well. Not the team members aren't holding their responsibilities as they move through the sequence. Like the rotation there, that was really quite good. The development of the separated X here works well, except for on the left side here we have that spacing issue. And then extending the arms of the X, nicely done. I appreciate that. Instead of just blatantly going out to an X in this manner. Interesting. All right. So technique here, feet look to be pretty much the same. Now, when we go to different angles, it looks like over here, it looks like her feet are completely separated, but hers are very close together, which actually might be the case. However, can't really tell all that well because we're unable to walk around on the drill area and find out. So, is this Clemson? I don't know. Anyway, that's something to consider, though. Foot placement is definitely something to consider to make sure that everybody is applying consistently the technique that you want. And it doesn't matter, which foot is forward and all that. You can create variations of this stance, no problem. And one of the variations that I would want you to consider is putting the body weight on the forward foot instead of the backward foot. This is a good stance. It's fine, but there's even a more powerful version of this by ensuring that all of your body weight is on that forward foot and that you're leaning, not necessarily leaning forward, but you have your body weight forward so that from the tip of your head all the way to that the center of the forward foot, it's one clean single line. So it might be something that is even more powerful for you. So instead of the stomp, it would have been much better to use the thank you ma'am for the signal. There was a slow progression there to create that single file line. So why did Why did the two lines separate only to become one again? And so there's a loss of excellence here that it's just not working. Okay, so here this doesn't really it doesn't work out all that well. Honestly, I thought you were going to perform a single file. Let's go ahead of this just a bit. I thought you were going to form a single file line. I'm not going to find it, am I? Right here, as you were marching past each other like this, I thought you were going to end up in a single file line, which would have been, I think, much easier to work with, honestly, instead of the separation, which led me to believe, okay, now what do you... Oh, no, you're not going to... And then it's... And so did the three girls turn too late? Or, I mean, too early? Or what was that? And then we have we can see a slight knee bend and then also a lean back of some... I don't know that everybody understands exactly what their responsibilities are, their individual responsibilities as they apply to the rest of the team. Because we have this young lady right here standing at attention, but lots of bent knees. Now, okay, marching in some places, but and there's a timing issue definitely there, but it just doesn't. The level of excellence is quite low here, so there's a muddy communication with your audience. Now, I do appreciate how close the team is to be able to do this ripple line. This is very different, and I am intrigued by it. It really is great. However, the lack of space here, or the extra space here, and then there's excess space here, it just throws the whole line off, and so the impact of what you're going to do really doesn't come across well. And there's different technique used almost everywhere. That was a great ripple there. And so is this. Very nice. Okay. Audience is having fun, but still, and still there's I don't, it's quite evident to me that the team members really, they truly don't understand their responsibilities as to what they're supposed to do at certain times, how far they're supposed to turn, where their shoulders are supposed to be, what the arm is supposed to look like. We almost have an L shape right here, and managed to close up the gap. Lack of practice, I think, here is evident. Just not remembering where to go, and this could have been early season for this team that's from several years ago. Oh boy, that really just didn't work well for you at all. Now, having the commander at the very end, also, it's an afterthought, honestly, having her all the way out there. And I would suggest a complete rewrite of this section to where the team moves towards the center and then comes around and forms this same shape, really, but the commander would be in the center and be able to... having the commander outside of the formation there for the report in and report out probably would be better. I know that the commander was part of that X shape earlier. It worked, although the only identifying characteristic of the commander was the different colored beret. So, but having her report out from from left field, honestly, it's just not as impactful. And then also look at technique here. So she has her toe going over to the right, heel, probably some heels are straight up. Here we go. So there's some finer details that really need to be addressed throughout the whole performance. Little bit of call and response, hitting the gym floor. I appreciate that. Pass through was nice.
Yep. Just us two.
Now, in a couple of different places, there was no need for a signal. It really should have been a count system. And then alignment here, just for these pickups, it just isn't working well. Okay, so I hope my comments have been helpful, but there's some issues with the program. Some interesting developments throughout the performance, but really there's the lack of excellence just brings the whole performance down. And I would suggest, and I know this is years old, but I would suggest rewriting this so that there's a much more logical progression throughout the routine from movement to movement, and then applying. There was military flavor throughout, even though many people don't appreciate this type of unarmed drill sequence, and I can understand that. But there was still the military flavor there with the formations and then layering that movement over top, the unarmed movement. So it's it just needs work, a lot of work. All right, thank you.